Oya majamaa. Vipi? Vipi majamaa?
Oya ni aje?
Fiti kiongozi.
Sema tusikie, baridi ya Kenya iko huko kwenu?
Unasemaje?
Hii baridi kweli imefikia mtaa?
Wewe mazee nakuambia ni kunoma man.
Anyway, watu just dress warmly and shall be well. Hizi ni blessings.
Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome to our Tuesday class. Today we are going to have George Makori. He's back. I hope we will welcome him with a thunderous clap. It's been long since we had him here. So George, if you are here, kindly let me hear your voice. It's been long too. George? George, can you get me? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's wait for George. George, if you can hear me. So George will be joining us back in a few. So let's be patient. He has just had some technical issues. He will be back.
Maadhi na Matia Maradi.
Hi, Joseph. Hi, people.
Hi.
Hi,
Habari zenu?
mzuri.
Oh, we are 99. We need one more person. I don't want to be 99. How was your week?
Fine, thank you.
I hope everybody has actually received the email today and the details about our scheduled career talk. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's a public holiday on 14th. That's why we have rescheduled our career talk to 18th June. So we have more time to mobilize more people. We all got that communication, right?
No.
No.
Because I know I have caught you all. You never read your entire email. Okay. Sorry? Is it me who has a problem or you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying you people don't read your entire emails because the invite for today, one of the things that it had, somebody has an echo.
Proceed, Jane. All are muted.
I was saying, unless you didn't read your entire email for the invite for today's meeting, the communication is there. Where link to register for class, below there is a communication. Please note that the career talk scheduled for 14th May has been rescheduled to 18th June 2021, as 14th May is a public holiday. So we apologize, we shift all our calendars because we also respect our Muslim participants. Another big announcement is that we have a new class representative because your former, thank you, Edward, for sharing. Your former class representative has been quite busy. Her name was Wandia, and I have appointed someone else. Is she in class? Patricia, are you in class?
Hello. Yes.
Yes, Patricia. So let's all put our hands together for our new class representative, Miss Mativo.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
give
you.
your acceptance speech.
Well, well, thank you very much. I'm really.
Wait, Patricia. I think there's an objection.
What?
Is there an objection? Sorry?
You can turn on your video as well.
Hey, okay, sawa, Patricia.
Jamani, mbona mjambia Jen kufanya hivyo?
Jen wamemzoea.
Okay, just a moment. Yes. One more time.
Acceptance speech.
Okay. So, where is it? Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, my camera is now on. I'm really happy to be your class rep. Yeah, guys, you should feel free to contact me when you have any issue or any clarification. I'm here to assist you to make this program a success at your comfort without any issues. Yeah, I think I'll still type my number in the chat section. So feel free to reach out to me in case of anything. Thank you, Jen. I'm really grateful for this position. No, I'm not on Telegram.
Yeah, somebody needs to put the link for Telegram, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Or do I have to say anything else?
Any questions for Trish? Any welcoming speech from this class?
I'm sorry, I really missed some stuff, so you can maybe update me.
Congratulations, Trish. Shall work together.
Thank you.
Trish, you've been welcomed, and I think now we are at a good place. So before our trainer lost power, and I think he's trying to have the situation resolved. Joseph, you can be following up with him. But just because before George comes in, I know you remember in the beginning we asked you to upload your CV as it was. We all remember. Did we all upload?
Hebu rudia, sijakusikia.
I am saying in the beginning we asked everybody to upload their resume as it was. You uploaded your CVs, eh?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So now my expectation is that now you uploaded before you were taken through the process of resume writing, cover letter writing by what was your trainers? Lucy, right? So what I wanted to ask all of us to do is that we spend this week revising our CVs based on the lessons that we learned. Because I am very sure that those that had 5 pages CV, and now we know it's supposed to be like 3 pages, like not more than 3 pages, and there are many things I'm sure you learned from the sessions with Lucy. So what I wanted you to do is to be able to edit your resumes and work on them, and we will give instructions on how to upload the new CV that I am going to use to match you for internships or job shadowing or other opportunities that will come up next week. So spend some time this week updating. I know most people maybe have actually updated. I am also keen to know if anyone needs support in, like, have questions they would have for Lucy in terms of their CV and all that. You can prepare those questions and we can have them next week. Then I can prepare a session outside Tuesday and Thursday where she can be able to respond to your key questions in terms of resume. Is that it? Is that fair enough?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this week you spent working on your resume. If you have key questions or concerns, the email that sends you emails, you can send your questions there. And once I put all the questions together by next week, we will schedule a remedial class, or you know the way they would say, if they were called a supplementary class for those that are interested outside the Tuesday and the Thursday schedules, to like for you to get like one-on-one kind of assistance and support in regards to your concerns on the resume. So if you don't revise your resume, definitely don't expect that somebody is going to help you find a placement. And just now, I am actually looking for a lady with a disability who would want to be an intern in a program on gender and advocacy. If you are that woman, make sure you reach out to Patricia and she will connect me with you. So meanwhile, Joseph, have you been able to reach George? So guys, let me just mute myself for a minute.
Jen, George is not yet back.
Sorry?
George is not yet back, but I'm still trying to call him.
Let me call him on my end.
Okay,
Let
okay.
me just call him. See a question at where are we uploading our CVs? I have said I will give instructions in the next communication. So first is to revise them. You see, revise, and if you have key questions, you communicate the questions this week, and next week I'll schedule a call with Lucy. If people have any other key questions in regards to the program, you can ask now before George comes. Please forgive us today. I wish I had the notes, I would have trained people, but yes. Sometimes we experience.
Excuse me, Jen.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, who is speaking? David.
David.
Yes, David.
It happened that I did not upload the first CV. I don't know whether now we are writing 2 CV.
No, the link to upload CV should still be open. You have it in your email.
then is it being handwritten or we are just typing online?
You type, it's a soft copy of your resume because that's the easier way too. So what you can do if you didn't upload your older version, maybe based on your learnings, you can update the current one, update your CV now, and you will upload your new version next week when I share the link. So no need to upload the old one if you didn't. I just know you have lost some marks there. Because don't worry, it's not that serious. Yes, David, we can't do a handwritten one. We want a soft copy. Do you have another question?
Yes, hi, Jane.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm asking, can you provide us a platform to submit the questions to Lucy on the CV issue?
So my idea was actually that people email Joseph, you can post the email and then we'll put all the questions together and then we will submit them to Lucy.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Yes, Joseph will paste the
Okay,
email.
I will be posting the info@business email at the chat box, so you will see it.
And then I am just wondering if you people have liked our page on social media. Have you? No? Because I saw your suggestions on how you can participate and make the Career Talk popular. So like the main channel of source of information is going to be our In Business page for Light for the World Kenya. And then from there, you can share all your communications and tag us. We will not create like a new page for EmployAble. So I am going to post our social media pages here. Next question can come on. I am ready for the questions. Shoot me with the question.
Hello,
Yes.
I am Eve.
Hi, Eve.
Hi, I don't know if this is a question or this is a concern. Like, I don't know if me who had the urge of seeing you physically, you people, like we have even a one session, a half hour session where we meet and see you people. I'm just hearing of Jane, George, and I've not seen them. So I don't know if it's me who feel that urge.
I know. So initially the program was, sorry? Can I go on first?
Yes, please.
Yes, I was saying initially the program was meant to be physical and by every university. Unfortunately, you know what happened. See, we all know. COVID came, and with COVID, you know, we have to observe the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, not the Ministry of Education. Yes, we have to comply to the Ministry of Health protocols. So chances are, yes, for sure, as the measures ease, we are going to be able to meet in person. But as of now, there are no plans to have physical meetings. But yes, probably towards the end of the program, because we'll have a pitch competition, we all need to just pray that COVID does not escalate any further. If the situation goes going down, we'll definitely have meetups. And if you, like I personally come to the universities a lot. So anytime I am coming to any of the universities, I'll be giving you a heads up. I know it's sad, eh?
Yes, yes, but we understand, we understand.
Yeah, and it is for our safety, all of us.
Yeah.
We finally have George. So maybe Joseph, what we can help George with, because I'm sure he's using his phone to tether, he can send you the PowerPoint and you can share and he can just speak so that we don't lose him. George.
Lucy.
It's
Yes.
Jay. Yes, you can share your PowerPoint with Joseph. He can help you project.
Yes,
So
I'm already
that
projecting. I don't know whether you can see my screen.
we can see your screen, but we are saying in case of anything, so that your bundles don't get exhausted as you train, Joseph can share the screen and you just speak. That way we reduce your bandwidth.
Yes, so I'll share it shortly so as I continue.
Yes, sawa. So karibu sana, George. Did you guys miss George?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell him how you missed Lucy?
His first session was so nice.
Sorry?
The first session that you led was so good.
Oh, George hujasahaulika, so I think you can proceed.
I think personally I've missed these guys so much. I thought I may not be able to connect. You can imagine the disappointment after rushing and then.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
Sorry?
George, maybe you have two devices on, eh?
Let me check.
You mute one.
Setting on personal memory.
Is it one now or I'm still having two?
No, now you're better.
I'm
Take
better.
us back to full screen.
Confirm you're able to see me now?
Yes, we see your screen.
Is it okay for those who want to?
Joseph.
Yes. Confirm the slides are coming in when?
Yeah, the slides are up.
Oh, good. I was reacting and responding to one of the ladies who was and I know how I wish we could physically meet and we could have all these conversations and we could all have all the universities in one hall. Then, given the COVID situation, the situation is not still better. So we are still at risk and we are still cautioned to take care of ourselves. So with that confirmation that I'm loud and clear, I now introduce the topic of today. Somebody confirm to me that I'm loud and clear.
Yes, but I think they are.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, the statics.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I don't know. Taking my show.
Maybe you mute everybody, then George unmutes himself because we have some background noise.
Yes.
Joseph.
Joseph with us?
Jen?
Please mute everybody, then George can unmute himself.
Okay.
We have even babies in the background. That's nice.
Or I'll mute it now.
Can you hear me? Because I'm unmuted.
Yes, now can you hear you?
Good, loud and clear. We were the future generation was already taking the show. So my first question I wanted to ask, maybe I'll introduce myself for the sake of those who have not met me before. Do we have anybody who is meeting me for the first time? By show of hands?
Yes.
Does it go without saying then you missed the first sessions I did for self-awareness and emotional intelligence? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I hope you've been able to catch up. So by name, I'm George. By training, I'm a project manager and I'm also a qualified accountant and a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants. And I'm a trainer by profession, and I love doing what I'm doing. And I hope the short session we are going to have is going to be exciting, and we can have a lot of learnings from it when it comes to setting our personal goals and making decisions as individuals or as graduates coming out of the universities. So that will be my precise role today. And I've divided the session into two. I'll handle goal setting and personal management on its own, and then we'll have another session or other sessions that are going to talk about the bigger picture in decision making, which will go beyond yourself. It could also include decision making at organizational level, at personal level, and also at group level. But before we go into that, I'll want to start my conversation by asking the question, how many have met this subject matter before and at what level? How many have encountered the subject matter of decision making or goal setting at any level, so that I know how many of us have an idea what I'm doing, so that I know the level of intensity and the speed at which I can be able to interact with you. Can somebody, sorry?
Me.
Where have you met it before, please, if you may go?
I applied while applying for fellowship, Millennium Fellowship program.
Yes.
You come up with a project, and the project you have to have a goal. What are the goals of the goal setting of your projects? I think that's where I met this.
How did you find it? Was it difficult? Was it exciting? Was it tantalizing? How did you find it?
First, I have to confess it's not easy because you are not sure whether the goals you'll meet them. At the same time, it's fun because you get something that motivates you where you are going to.
That is interesting. I hope somebody else can give us a quick experience to make us appreciate the intrinsic values of doing a goal setting. Anybody else who has done goal setting or personal management at some level?
Yes, I have come across it.
Please say your name and tell us the experience you had.
I'm Kelvin Mutuma from Kenyatta University. I encountered goal setting in my coursework.
Yes.
In a unit called Project Management and Strategic Planning Concepts. So it was about organizations, how they set their targets,
yes,
and how they plan on how to achieve them. In the course, I met something that was saying that we should, or organizations, of which also a person can learn from it, that organizations should set SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, and ROs for relevant and time-bound. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So this is what I'm trying to say. Anybody else? One more before I jump into the chapter. 125 of you, only 2.
I also think I encountered it somewhere.
You are not sure?
I encountered it.
Was it a black monkey or how was it?
A leadership training day.
Okay.
For me, it was new.
Yes.
But at least we tackled on the idea of goal setting, the goals being smart. Yeah, that's the little I can remember.
I think that's quite encouraging to know that a couple of you at least have an idea, have met this subject matter before. And I believe you are going to help us when it comes to giving experiences. And even as we personalize this conversation and as we put it into context of students or young guys and gayettes graduating from the university, to figure out what kind of goal setting opportunities that we have and where are they, how do we do that, and why should we do that. So I got a very exciting phrase or rather statement that was made by one lady I respect called Eleanor Roosevelt. This is what she said. She said the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. When you look at this from another angle and with a 60 cents, you'll see the emphasis of matter that she's raising about you making, making your dreams or planning your dreams or setting your personal goals or any goals of in life for that matter. So I find it very exciting when it comes to starting this subject. So we'll be thinking how we can create this beauty out of our dreams. So I want to dare you to dream today, and I want to see how we can make our dreams a reality. Okay. So in this module then, we have a number of objectives to achieve. Priority number 1 is to ensure that we are able to unpack the importance of goal setting. We explain the why we need to set goals, what opportunities are there by us setting smart goals, and why should we do it in the first place. That importance, if we are able to understand it, that is our priority number 1. The number 2 will move a step ahead and see how can we identify the impact goal setting and objectives will have in our personal lives. In other words, our personal life plan. How do we use this principle to set our personal goals and create impact in our goals in life? Number 3, we'll then see how we can set realistic goals. So we'll also take some time to take a process of setting goals. And this, of course, will help us to reach our full potential in the world of work. Remember what we have, this far we've come. I'm assuming now we are self-motivated. I'm assuming we are leaders in the making, and I'm assuming now we are almost ready for the job market. As we do that now, the next thing we need to learn is how to set goals, whether they are personal goals, organizational goals, team goals, or any kind of goals that we want to set. What are the underlying intrinsic values and the assumptions that we must make? Then we need to identify personal goal setting techniques. So we'll see, do we have any techniques, shortcuts, kind of passwords, or things that we can really appreciate as we set the goal so that we achieve smarter goals and faster goals. So we'll see how we can get those techniques at some stage. But most importantly, we'll also differentiate between short-term goals and long-term goals, and how we break down the long-term goals into short-term goals, and what are the key differentiating factors between the two goals. And then we'll be able to describe the importance of setting priorities. I'll try to see how we can also look at decision making and how we make priorities either in programs or priorities either in life. I don't know who has made something called the pairwise ranking, those who are doing management classes. Has anybody made something called a pairwise ranking in life, just to see whether I can use it for demonstration purposes? Have you ever heard of pairwise ranking before? Patrick Ekai?
Not yet.
For me, no.
Oh, so that's a new concept. At some stage, I'll try to unpack it for you and you'll understand how you'll use it in making or setting goals. But for now, let me not go deep. Let me live with what we have at the moment. But lastly, we'll try to see the advantages and probably disadvantages of having a mentor. Why is it important that you go through a mentorship program? Remember, in this program, you are going to have a job shadowing opportunity. You are going to have internship opportunities. You may have to be in volunteer opportunities as we emphasize the importance of volunteerism. As we do that, we'll want to see why is it important for you to have a mentor? Do you need a mentor in the first place? So these are some of the key things we want to discuss. So let's start by asking ourselves, why is it important for us to set personal goals? Or why personal goal setting? Why is it important for anybody in life?
It gives one a general direction of where they are going, or a clear indication of what they want to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it also give you some goal setting discipline? Does it make you do things in a chronological way, in a manner that is coherent, in a manner that you're organized in a way?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
that lone pair is next to the pi bond, the one in red. And so we can go ahead and.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
While you are making goals, the goal set, actually it makes you to stand out as a person, and it makes you to be realistic, on what you want. Because once you're realistic, it will give you a push to do what you want to achieve at a certain time frame that you've set on according to your plan. So that's it.
You have introduced three very important things. You have brought in something called a plan. You have brought in something called being realistic goals. In other words, it's an opportunity to exploit your full potential, without which you may not exploit your full potential, or you may not operate optimally, or you may not be operating at the efficient levels. So I've liked those three that you brought in. And unless somebody has something he wants to add in a second, I can move on.
Yeah, can I talk?
Please come in with your dimension.
Yeah, I think goal setting also helps us like to know which opportunities to grab when they come. What I mean is, for example, personally, I'm
Yes.
someone who I'm pursuing international relations. So I intending to concentrate in development studies. So recently they came an opportunity from UN, this Millennium Fellowship. So it's just an additional course, but because I'm having some goals on working, on having something which has got to do with development, then
Yes.
I had to go for that course because I know it's gonna add something to me. So I think if you have goals laid down, you know which opportunities to grab.
Yes. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. I love what you said. And I may hurt some guys who are strong supporters of this EPL team called Arsenal. And if you had set a goal that it's one of the teams you want to support and it's the football you want to enjoy, I don't know how many disappointments you've gotten and whether it is also part of decision making and goal setting. But for me, what is important is when you are able to set your goals, it's like you are actually charting a plan and charting milestones for your life. In a football game, if you don't set rules and you don't have those kind of goals, then actually you can play anywhere. You can even play and score your own self, because then you have no idea where you want to go and you don't know how long it takes to get where you want to go. It actually makes you lose the rhythm of doing your business and achieving your life objectives. I think all of you have really made a very important contribution in this aspect. So let us also then try to unpack what is goal setting. just to put some English words together, and for those who want to have it in memory, so they have some coherent English words to talk about. Goal setting then is a process of thinking about your ideal. I want you to underline or have it somewhere, ideal future. In other words, the future is there, but the future can be of many shapes. It can be ideal, it can be the worst side of it, it can be the dream, it can be anything. But so the ideal future is the first key thing to look at, and the motivating oneself to turn his vision into his future, or vision of the future into a reality. So when you look at that process, it's a long-term, it's forward-looking, it is futuristic, it is motivating oneself, but most importantly, it is the ability to turn your vision into your future and also your reality. That is the definition I thought resonates well with me, but many of you may think otherwise. Then the process of goal setting will help us to get where we want to go in life. And I believe all of us have dreams in life, have many plans and many things that we want to achieve in life. For those who want to be pilots, you know how long it takes. For those who want to be doctors, you know the 5 years you have to be in the medical school and all that until you are ready now to undertake the medical duties. So most importantly, properly set goals can be incredibly motivating. And as you get into the habit of setting and achieving them, you will find yourself building your own confidence. This is what one of our colleagues said, that when you have your goals set, especially if they are smart, you will find yourself motivated to continue engaging and planning for the future. You appear organized, you appear confident, and of course you ooze with a lot of confidence and experience. By setting sharp and clearly defined goals, you definitely can be able to measure and take pride in achieving those goals. This is the beauty of having an organized life and a life that has goals to achieve. I do not know, as I do this, how many of you have certain goals. If we can have a gentleman and a lady share 3 goals they have set in life, we can see the difference in them and of course the focus in them. Who can volunteer to share 3 goals they have in the future? We want to, yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
Me.
Hello, I am Eve.
Yes.
Personally, I'm interested in making change in somebody's life. So one of the goals I have is, if God give me life and ability, that one day I have an NGO that specifically help improve somebody's life, make a change in somebody's life, especially for those who are underprivileged.
Underserved, good. That's number 1. Number 2? Is that all? Why you? Eve?
A question?
Yes, yes.
Before we go to the question, I wanted to finish with Eve.
Okay, so if someone says his goal is, let's say, getting work or getting married, is such a goal real or not real?
The jury is here. Let's hear how they respond to it. Is getting married part of your goals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not easy finding the love of your life. So getting married is a goal.
Is there any business that's more serious than that? Or is there any business that needs to be meticulous more than that?
It's a goal.
Serious. All right. Let's get here 2 more goals that some of us have. Remember, you are a university graduate, so I want you to be in that kind of situation and look at the future. And I want to see you from a graduate point of view. What are the goals of the majority of the graduates? Of course, you have said many of you want to get married at some point and you're meticulous planning towards that. Some of you want to inspire before you expire. If I love that, you want to inspire, especially the marginalized, before you expire. That's extremely important. But what are the other goals you guys live for?
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm Hudson.
Yes, Hudson.
And I'll just share with you guys my goals and what I've accomplished so far at my age right now, and what I intend to conquer as time goes forward. So I'm currently at 21 years, and in my 21 years, I've gotten an opportunity to work with NGOs back in my community, and we've touched life. That's for sure, I can say. And my dream at the age of 27, I should be able to set up a multi-purpose library. That's one of my future plans. A multi-purpose library with actually connections from friends and even the government. So that's one of my priority. And then my second plan, because I also have a business, I started some poultry business back in last year, 2020, September there. And it's picking up well, and my intention is to have it grow and be known in Kenya and beyond. So that's also my business goal. And my educational goals, as I'm undertaking environmental science, I intend to pursue my master's after my bachelor's degree to Liberty University. So those are my goals. Thank you.
Wow, that's quite a junk. I'm even wondering, is there any connection between your goals and your current career focus? Is there any direct connection between these beautiful goals? For example, the multipurpose library. Is there any connection between what you're doing in your career right now and the future that you are planning to have? In terms of
Okay, for me, what drives me is the need to have, actually it's different, but for me, I love to serve people. That's what is in my family and it is in me. And I would love someday to put a landmark to my community and my county. And education is let me say, is the tool that can shape the world. So I'll use that to equip it to my community, and in turn, it will help to transform the society.
These guys don't go to church. Somebody should have said a big amen for that.
They are jealous.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
That's exciting. So I've loved two things at the multipurpose library. I have no idea why.
Praise God.
Amen. Converted. That aside, you realize guys have really big plans. Guys want to get married, and guys want to have big libraries transforming the society. Guys want to have voice and influence for the underserved. There's so many goals that you guys have. But now let's see how to go about that. By setting sharp, the question I'll be asking whether your goals are sharp, whether they're clearly defined, and whether they're measurable, so that then we can see how to take pride in the achievement of those goals. So that is the next step and the challenge we want to unpack. Now, my next push and my next thing that I really want to share is to really to see how to unleash the goal power. Everybody has innate power. Everybody is fully loaded. Everybody has a DNA of identifying their goals and of course, trying to reach them. The difference between us is how we take it up and how we manage it and how how serious we are about them and how realistic we are. That is what makes the difference at the end of the day. So goals will help us keep focused on where we want to go. And of course, it has a lot to do with our future. In other words, our future is loaded in the goals that we have right now. As a goal is reached, you'll definitely be motivated. You'll find some good level of confidence, and you'll find yourself setting higher goals. but you find yourself failing in the initial goals, then chances are that you'll continuously fail in the subsequent goals. So just like a foundation, the first goal you set can be the next level of glory in the next goals that you want to achieve. In other words, how smart you are with your short-term goals can be a direct consequence or a direct result of how your long-term goals can be. So setting goals in the major areas of your life is very important. And now at this point, we want to agree, and I know we can disagree, depending on who we are and how we are oriented in terms of academics, in terms of gender, in terms of economic empowerment, in terms of physical challenges and all that. Our goals can be different, but I believe there is a lot to do with personal goals. We'll agree that there is a goal around career in terms of what kind of a career choice you want to make and how you'll use your career choice to earn a living moving forward. There is also a choice to make in terms of your financial, personal financial. You may decide to be forever a beggar. You may decide never to be a beggar again. You may decide never to have money in your life, or you may decide to have plenty of resources. This is a personal choice, just like it is a personal choice in what kind of education you want to have. If all you pray to God is to give you a D- in high school, do you think God is crazy to give you an A? If all you pray for is a D-, do you think God can give you an A? It's a question I'm asking.
No.
No.
Because they say God is fair and honest and just. There is a verse, I don't know whether there is one in the Quran, which says that when a child asks for bread, you don't give them a stone. So if you ask for a D-, how can you get an A? It's impossible, because you've already set your standard, you've already made your request known, and God grants your wishes. What I want to tell you is that there is power in what you decide for yourself. There is power in what you set as a goal for yourself. So if you set low goals, you will definitely achieve low. If you set high goals, your chances of getting high success are very high. So then, in education, in physical, in other words, how you are going to have your physical life, whether you want to be a physician, whether you want to be a psychologist, whether you want to be a philanthropy like Manu Chandaria, this is something that you choose. Whether you want to be a footballer or what you want to run like the Ineos guy. How do you call him? Paul Terragat. Where I come from, if I try doing that, I may have my tongue come out like a tie because it's not my DNA. Please don't try it at home if you don't come from the highlands, because you may not make it. There is also the social aspect of goal setting. Like when it comes to social, you decide who are going to be your friends. What places are you going to be socializing? Do you want to be with the guys who smoke shisha? Do you want to be the guys who, are astronomists? What is your social strata? Where do you want to belong? There are people who have chosen their social strata and they say, for me, this is a no-go zone. For me, this is where I belong. Of course, I've mentioned psychological needs and all that. So setting goals will entail all those areas of your life. I want to repeat what one of our colleagues said about being smart in setting our goals, but most importantly, from our first class, self-reflecting, so that you can self-regulate to be on the right track and monitor yourself to achieve the goals you want to achieve, but most importantly, responding to the environmental stimuli, because sometimes the environment dictates what we become. We said the jobs are shrinking in the market, and if you do not reinvent yourself, if you are not creative, you may not have a job to do, because the university will give you the skills, will prepare you to go to the market, but sometimes what you have trained is not what you end up doing, or maybe what you are doing could be the stepping stone for your next level of work. So for me, this is very important. Learning to unleash your goal power is extremely important. If you miss anything, please don't miss that. Now, how do you set your personal goals? Maybe I should go back and ask the gentleman who told us how he has a dream of doing a multipurpose library at the local community. How do you go? How did you get to your personal goals? How did you do that? Did you just wake up one morning and you found the library drawn in your mind? How did you get there?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, first it starts by realizing there's a problem somewhere and it needs to be corrected. For me, I come from Migori County, and
Yes.
one thing that I realized, we don't have a multi-purpose library where people of all ages, when I talk of people of all ages, it includes from age 4 to 80, those people that can read. So we don't have a common library like here in Nairobi, that will talk of the National Library here. So that gave me stress kidogo. And since I have friends both within and outside, now it's my prayer and a plan that when I finish my college, I get to interact with them more and more, and we sit and we plan pole pole, because things will not go the way you plan, but as soon as you get there, slowly by slowly, you thank God. That is it.
Thank you so much, my friend. So I have learned one thing from you. It begins by identifying a unique situation or a unique problem or a unique thing that you want to do in a community, without which you may not have a dream. So that dream will start by you realizing or identifying a solution or a problem that you want to address in a given life situation. I believe it has been brought about, or it has been stimulated by the fact that you see the difference between Migori and the other counties. When Nairobi has a lot of books, some of them rotting at the archives and all that, you go to Migori, you find none. Somehow, by the grace of God, you managed to get where you are. I don't know how you did that, but I believe you are looking at a situation whereby your coming generations can actually experience a similar situation, have access to knowledge, have access to resources and education for that matter. So then you have a better life and a society that is well informed, which is a big dream if you ask me. And it has taken time. You have seen the metamorphosis in that process. And many of you guys have these kind of dreams. For those who want to inspire before they expire, I believe you have a similar challenge. It is a similar DNA in you, and it's a similar dream. And you realize it is futuristic, it is ahead of you, it's uncertain. Those are the characteristics of such dreams. It's uncertain, it is ahead of you because you cannot see it at the moment. But there's a lot of, it starts with some level of interest, some level of commitment, and some level of excitement, without which you may not have a goal. So let's see what we have. The first step in setting personal goals, obviously, is to consider what you want to achieve in your lifetime. Or by a time list, say of 10 years. 10 years is such a long time, but 5 years is still good enough. 3 years is good enough. Don't take it as a gold standard. What I want to emphasize is that the first step is to consider what you want to achieve in your lifetime, whether it's a short term or a long term. One convenient way I discovered of creating your list of goals is filling a few blanks I discovered. Blank number one is, what do you want to be? For example, it begins from there. When you say you want to inspire before you expire, can you tell me what that person wants to be? Somebody wants to inspire before they expire, or somebody wants to impact the vulnerable and the underserved. What kind of person is that?
Sponsor.
Sorry?
Let's like
say,
a sponsor, a donor.
Yes. What qualities are you seeing in this lady? And then many more of you who want to do that. Why do you want to inspire others? What I mean, do you see some selfless kind of a thing, selfless devotion, that even as you grow, as you go to a school, you really want to see how you can use your knowledge to support others, inspire others, motivate others, give others knowledge. That is an intrinsic value in them. There is selflessness, there is commitment, there is a sense of empathy and a sense of love for the community and all that. So it is about what you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, then you better behave like one. If you want to be a pilot, then you better join the club of pilots. But if you want to be a pilot and you want to swim with the swimmers, then you have a problem, because you are not connecting to what you want to be. Number two, then it is what you want to do. Once you know what you want to be, then you need to discover what you have to do to be what you want to be. For example, if you want to be a doctor, it requires that you go to medical school for 5 years, and of course do some internship until you become a full-fledged doctor, and you can then practice and you have the experience. Then you can go to theater and you can now be a surgeon and all that. So first you wanted to be a doctor, but what you have to do is to go to school, take the right skills or equip yourself with the requisite skills, so then you can be able to practice what you want to be. Then from there, what you want to have. Everybody, whether you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, there are things that you want to have. You don't go to court and argue cases and come back home hungry and then you ask people what you want to eat. Of course, there are certain things that you want to have as a person. Probably some of you are having dreams of having some good homes. Some of you want to have some good spouses. Some of you want to have some good libraries in the village. Some of you want to have certain good things. If I was to ask, I know I'll get a number of varied expressions and valid feelings about it. But then from there, you also want to say, what do you want to give? For you to be what you want to be and to do what you want to do and to have what you want to have, what must you give? That is extremely important. What you must give will require self-devotion. You may have to be committed. You may have to sacrifice certain things for you to be able to get what you want to do. But I've also discovered that the converse can be true. You can also use it from a reverse side. Instead of looking at what you want to be, you can also look at what you don't want to be. If you do not want to be a pickpocket in the street, then certain things have to happen. If you do not want to be poor in your community, then certain things have to happen. You definitely have to do something about your life now. You have to have the right skills. You have to give some resources for you to get certain things you want. You have to sacrifice at some point. So the reverse is also possible. So you can first look at what you want to be, or you can look at the reverse, what you do not want to be. Achieving short-term and long-term goals is like climbing a ladder. Climbing a ladder will start with the first step, going to the next one and going to the higher one. The speed at which you climb the first ladder is not the same as the one you climb the last ladder. Because as you go higher, the riskier it becomes, but the more the benefits you get. Because if you are eating the low-lying fruits, now you can hit the high-lying fruits. Goals I've learned that need to be put into writing. If we want to succeed in life, we need to ensure that we somehow document our goals. Again, here, we can use the Bearwise ranking to identify what goals are going to ride over others. What will be the priority goals? The reason why I was asking the question, what kind of goals you have, is because I know you have many. But in the many that you have, how do you know which one is a priority? You want to be married, you want to be a lawyer, you want to have a good job, you want to have a home, you want to be in a good social class. Where do you start? Where is your priority? Is it getting married? Is it being a lawyer? Is it having a home? Those are certain things that you have to decide. And as you do that, you realize where your priorities are and you can rank them. so that you address the first needs before you go to the other goals. In other words, goals are set at different levels. The first level is the bigger picture or the bird's eye view of the bigger goals you want to have in life. And here you need to decide the larger scale goals that you want to achieve. But as you achieve the bigger goals, you need to address the smaller goals that will help you achieve the bigger goals. That's what I said, you break the bigger goals into smaller goals. For example, for you to have a good home will require that you have resources. In other words, you have to be a good planner and a personal finance manager. You have to know how to invest, you know how to save. You may have to know how to be a leader so that you can get a good job, and through a good job, you can save more, and through saving more, you can achieve your goals faster. So this is what we urge you to do. This is how you need to break down your goals, and if it makes sense, I'll want to hear a reaction from you. Is it making sense from where you sit as graduates joining the job market? Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
A reaction? I could hear yes, but I don't know who said it, but nonetheless, it has been heard. Byron, if you note anything from our team and any of our other colleagues, please let me know so that we can also remember to include them in this conversation. So, how do you set personal goals? To set personal goals, you need to give a broad coverage of important areas in your life, and you need to try to set all of them, but I've unpacked a list of some of the things you need to address, but I confirm the list is not conclusive. So if you don't see yours here, please don't throw a stone to me. I was only looking at it from a bird's eye view, but I know there could be many other priorities that could be here that I have not put here. But for the sake of our learning, let us see how we can set our goals and some of the parameters, some of the indicators, some of the things that you've got to manage. The first thing that you have to work on is your personal attitude. Attitude, attitude, attitude. I have put it in number one because the rest cannot be achieved unless you work on your attitude. The last time I spoke to you, I told you it's really not about your academic excellence. You do not need to walk one shoulder higher with the academic angle and say how important you are in the society and how good your grades are, and then you think that your personal goals are going to just magically work. It is paramount to realize that your attitude is as good as your DNA. You really need to inculcate a good attitude, an attitude that appreciates others, an attitude that is willing to listen to others, an attitude that's willing to accept others, a selfless kind of mind where you look at others and give them priority over yourself. This is the kind of attitude that will take you places. But you have an attitude that wants to ride over others, an attitude that you are the best that they can have in the market. This kind of an attitude can be disastrous sometimes. So humility is a key factor here. If you are humble and you know how to exhibit good manners, exhibit good attitudes, you can go places. Before you talk about your career, I have given attitude number one. Number two is your career choice. The career choice you take carries along with it a baggage that you've got to take care of. For example, if you have a problem with your attitude, please don't try some careers. You can imagine a doctor who is really very impatient with you, and you're trying to explain something that is beating inside you and you have no idea what it is. And he's telling you, dude, can you say it? And it's not coming out. What do? You realize you are going to have a lot of trouble, and you become an impediment to others' success. So your career choice has a lot to do with your attitude. In fact, once you have your career choice, then it dictates the kind of education you need, the kind of competencies and skills that you require so that you can succeed in your career. Today, I've used the lawyers, I've used the doctors, but I can also use the teachers. For you to be a good teacher, there are a number of things that you have to do. Of course, you need to understand the curriculum which you are going to use as a trainer, which means it defines your way of delivering the skills. Now we have CBC, we used to, from the Kenya Curriculum Center for Curriculum Development, you need to understand what the curriculum requires you to deliver and how you deliver it and the guidelines that are there. You don't just wake one morning and you just go deliver the education because it could be disastrous. The same idea goes when it comes to family. When you want to have a certain type of a family, whether it's a nuclear family, a single family, extended family, a loneliness family, a clan family, you really need to figure out, because the type of family you choose will require that you also decide the resources that go with it. You cannot have a family of 10 and you cannot provide for 2. Guys and gentlemen, are we talking to each other?
Yes.
Yes. There is some proportion about the family you want to take care of. And it is a lot to do with what you have inherited. If you have inherited 0, you cannot compare yourself with somebody who has started with something. So you actually have to consider where you come from. You have to consider your other siblings who may need your support. You may also need to consider there's some relations you may go into, and once you are into them, you may not be able to focus on your other siblings. There are some engagements and social clusters. If you join, you actually block the rest, because then you belong into another group where others do not belong. So you create a strata. The same thing with finance. Your financial muscles depends on how you plan. Your power to save, or your propensity to save, as they call it, is equivalent to your ability to invest. If you are a poor saver, then you'll be a poor investor. If you are a poor manager, then you will be running an empire of poor investments. So that's why we look at your financial acumen and your financial skills that will make a difference as you plan for your future. Your goals will require to be financed. For those who are in project management, you remember what we call the project triangle. In that project triangle, you remember we have, can I call on somebody who told me is in project management? What is in the project triangle? Project management triangle. Quickly, somebody can somebody give me a hint? As future managers and project managers, I really want to know what is who has an idea what the project management triangle is? I remember there's something to do with the scope. You need to understand the scope of the project. There is another side of the triangle that talks about the time and the resources that you need for you to be there. But inside the triangle is the quality. So for you to have a quality project, you need to manage the 3. You need to manage the time, you need to manage the resources, and also the scope of that project. That's for another day. Of course, a similar thing, you really need to look at your physical requirements or physical challenges and physical ramifications as you plan for the goals. For example, if you want to get a good job in the market, you really need to understand the movement in the job market. The labor studies will show you that jobs are changing over time. There are new things that are coming into the job market that we have not been focusing on. So if you are not moving in tandem with the market dictates, then you will find yourself irrelevant in the market. So your relevance in the market will have to consider the physical conditions and the environmental conditions that exist, even as you do your planning. Some plans will have to be modulated or have to be regulated by the physical conditions that exist. For example, if you want to do a library like my colleague, you really need to think twice. For example, do you really think that the physical libraries is the future? Or do you think the digital libraries are going to be the future? Are you seeing a transition from the physical libraries to online libraries? That is something you need to be conscious about, because you may be investing where people are moving away from. You may be investing in ideas which are obsolete, ideas that will not add value even for yourself. That's why it's important to monitor the environmental conditions and the physical conditions that exist even as you set your goals. There is also about pleasure. When I grew up, I thought my Simba is the best I can have in the community. For those who come from those sides, you realize a Simba is just like an anthill. People are now talking of mansionettes. If you are coming from Nigeria, we have palacious homes. Now, when you look at that and you're talking of your Simba, are you not in your own world? So pleasure is about what you want, the value you give yourself. If you want to be in that high-end market, you really need to give yourself value. How do you give yourself value or this pleasure? You have to invest in the right skills. You have to invest in the right attitude. You've got to invest in the things that really matter to you and that make a difference in you, because that's what sets your standards. And of course, public service. Remember us talking about volunteerism, talking about job shadowing, talking about internship. It has to be driven by a spirit to serve others. I liked the lady who said, inspiring before you expire. But if you are the one who want to expire before you inspire, you are holding the tick from the wrong side of it. So, is that helpful to you? I need a response. Yes. So I'm almost done. We're getting to the tail end of our conversation today. But for today, we wanted to introduce how to set goals and also have some underlying basics around the setting of the goals and all that. Remember, I mentioned there could be long-term goals and also short-term goals. So long-term goals are reached within a time frame of at least 5 years to 10 years. Anything below 5 is considered short-term. When we do strategic planning, for those who are in strategic management, we set plans for 5 years and above, because it's long enough for you to really take time and invest and realize the results you want to achieve. So setting long-term goals will probably start by thinking of what you want to accomplish in your life. A good example is the multipurpose library the gentleman wants to achieve is a good one. The other one is the inspiring before you expire is a good one, because it's a long term. You will not inspire in a day, not in a year, not in 2 years. It will take a lot of investment and time. From your list of accomplishments, you need to choose items that you think you most value. Remember I said about prioritizing what you think needs to come first before you go to the rest. But most importantly, keep the goals realistic, attainable, measurable, achievable, and of course, have a reason for the goal. Don't just have a goal because for the sake of having a goal. You must make sure that you have a reason why you need that goal. For the gentleman who want to do a library, of course, the goal was very clear. The reason is very vivid, because he wants to transform the community of Homa Bay to have access to knowledge and information, or to have access to resources that will help them achieve learning objectives. That's about long term. When it comes to short-term goals, as I've said, those are goals that are below, anything below 5 years, 1, 2, 3 is considered short. Sometimes we call them objectives because they look like there are a number of things that you need to put in place, which are the building stones to the long-term objectives and long-term goals. So you set them to reach long-term goals, and they are the stepping stones to long-term goals. Remember, we also need to keep them realistic, achievable, measurable, and time-bound. You really have to do it within a certain time. They cannot be done forever. Other things that I really hope that we could emphasize in the next lesson is to see how to own the goal. Somebody told me that the goal you have is a goal for the community. How do you own a goal, and how do you control that goal, and how do you set a time frame for that goal? That's a question that I want to throw to the floor, but I want you to think deep and tell me, as you set the goals, how do you own the goal? Let me start from there. One of the ladies, let us know, how do you own a goal? What do you really need to do for you to own a goal?
I'm not a lady, but I'm a gent. Okay,
Yes.
what I think about owning a goal.
Yes.
First of all, my goal is to give back to the community what they have given to me, because my high school, I studied through community, Wings to Fly, and currently in my university, I'm being paid for by Cooperative Bank. And one day, I hope to give back to the community what they have given to me, because I could have not reached this far. So, first of all, I want to start a project, because I'm doing recreation and sports management, a project that will be helping kids and other community members through sports to solve their problem. And when it comes to owning the goal, first of all, you have to consider the community. They have to feel as if the project that you're starting involves them. And when we talk about involving the community, it's not that they'll be the people owning the thing that you've started, the goal that you want to start, the plan that you're having for them, but the sole owner, the thing that, okay, you must be the driving factor toward the goal that you want to do. Like the person who wants to start the library. You can't just start the library, but you just come up, okay, you have the cash, you have everything that needs for the library to be started. But after starting the library, then you don't know how the library is going on or how it will be after that. Owning it, being the sole thing, the driving factor, the engine behind your goal, so that no one else can be driving your goal. You are the one who is riding your goal.
Yes. Extremely important. And I like your comment. It's extremely important in our conversation today, because it's actually the DNA of owning the goal. You really have to have it. It has to be your dream. If you do not dream it, you'll never live it. Because if it's not in your mind, it's a foreign idea, it will remain a foreign idea. That's why owning the goal makes it sync with you, becomes your DNA. When it's your DNA, when I cut you, that's the DNA, that's what I expect to find out. But if it's not in you, then it will not be your DNA. So in terms of commitment, in terms of success, you will not succeed in a dream that you do not own, or a dream that you really do not believe in, or a dream you really do not know the value of. So owning the goal is basically about that. It's really about you having the dream and living for the dream and believing in that dream. That's how you own it, and believing that it's transformative in nature. It is actually the solution to the problem that you want to solve. Otherwise, if it's not the solution, then your goal it's empty. It's not achievable. It's not attainable. It's not realistic, and it's not measurable. That's why it's important for you to own any goal that you want to set. Otherwise, if you want to champ other people's goals, you'll die miserably. If you want to run like Terragat, you'll die before you finish the second round, because you cannot run like him, because it's not your dream, it's not your goal. That's the point I wanted to drive home. So it's important to own your goal. Number two is to control the goal. How do you control the goal? I want somebody from Multimedia University to say something, just to confirm that they're in the house. Do we have somebody from MMU?
Hello. Yes, we are here. Many of us we are here. You can see that in the comment section. I mean the chat section. We have a lot of people. So I'll give it a try. How to control your goal. So
I'm listening. Go ahead, please. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you.
hello.
Yes, come on again, please.
Hello.
Yes, I'm very sorry. Power just went off, then I was disconnected from Wi-Fi. So I was saying we are here. Many of us from MMU are here. It's there, evidence is in the chat section. So I'll give it a try. How to control your goal. I think this is basically ensuring that if this is your goal, say you want to have a library by, they say that by when he's 27 years. So how you control it is ensuring that yes, maybe other small goals come into your way, but now you won't let these other small goals come into the way of reaching to your ideal goal that you wanted. Say if it's the library by 27 years, then it's basically trying to ensure that whatever comes your way during the period, the target you have set, nothing interferes with your main goal and your health and everything else that involves your goal. Just a try.
Thank you for saving the face of MMU. Otherwise, I don't know what I could have said about them, but you have saved the day.
We're a good school, thank you.
I am telling you, you have saved the day. So I want to use an example. When a lion is hunting, probably the lion is hunting in the wilderness and there's so many animals. But when it's chasing an antelope, sometimes it meets a rat, it meets a rabbit along the way. Do you think it stops chasing the antelope because a rabbit has come in?
No.
Because if you do that, maybe you have been running for the last 1 hour, and you are sure that the antelope is almost getting tired, and your chances of succeeding are very close. And then you start a new run. Will you make it? What I want to say is it's important that you ensure that you do not lose focus on your goal. You remain on track, because there's so many detractions. There are so many distractions along the way. There's a lot of noise along the way. But if you do not focus on the voice, you lose the voice that is in your mind. So controlling the goal is ensuring that you are in charge of what you want to achieve. You are listening to the right advice. You are getting the right people on board. You are incorporating the people who need to make your goal achieve. If you have excess baggage, it's your duty to drop them along the way so that you control the goal. Otherwise, if you carry everybody, you may not be able to carry the load. It may be too heavy for you in terms of investments, in terms of time, and you may not please everybody. So you really need to decide how to control in terms of achieving your goal. So in a nutshell, using that analogy, this is what it means when you control your goal. It's ensuring that you are getting the right tone, you are getting the right energy, the right investment, the right support, and of course, investing the right resources in achieving what you want to have. If you want a modern technology, then you know what you need to do for you to have a modern digital library, because there are certain things that you have to do for you to get a digital library. And again, setting the time frame for the goal is important because it is your goal. In other words, each goal must belong to you. You need to decide what your goals will be. In other words, most importantly, do not, and I repeat, do not allow others to influence the goals you want to set for yourselves. But remember, I've not said that you should not take advice, you should not be mentored, but do not let them influence. So the key word there is to influence, until you forget what your dream and you start living other people's dreams. That's where we may go wrong, and actually that is the major undoing for many of us. In terms of controlling the goal, just to re-echo the same, have the right information when creating the goals, know what resources and the constraints are involved, be flexible enough to be realistic enough to know when you need to make a change and when you need to change tactic and when you need to invest and make a difference in the goal that you want to achieve. Setting a time frame, of course, will make the goal measurable, achievable, and attainable. So if you cannot set time frame, then it may be a pipe dream. People never realize pipe dreams. They say Kenyan government and us, we are good planners, but we are poor implementers of the plans. That's why we have so many plans gathering dust in the shelves. We have good thinkers, we have good strategies, but our problem is having the strategies implemented. As you go to the job market, you will see this, and you may realize that we have so many good strategies out there. We have so many good goals out there, but they have just remained goals. So you need to make a difference as you go to the job market and make that difference that people are waiting for as the employee with a difference. And that is the difference you need to make in the job market. You will obviously know when you have reached your goal. There is no way you can achieve your goal and you cannot measure it, you cannot realize it. You really need to be very positive and use details when you are documenting your goals. You need to be a good strategist to achieve your goals. If you are a poor strategist, then you'll not achieve your goals. But where I want to wind up today, because I know there's a lot we need to cover, is how to stay on track. Yes, you have achieved your goals, you've identified your goals, you have been able to control your goals, but then the big question is, how do you stay on track? How do you remain on board? How do you remain relevant in this journey of setting goals? Number one, once you have decided your first goal plans, you need to keep the process going. How do you do that? You need to continuously review and update your to-do list on a daily basis. In other words, it is a life project that is going to be moderated by the circumstances around you, the technology around you, the new trends in the market, and of course the support that is coming your way, so that you know who you need to plug in at what point for you to get to achieve your goals. In other words, it's a daily thing. It's something that you have to live and consciously plan and work along. It is what we call constant evaluation of your progress. A long journey from Nairobi to Mombasa will mean that you decide the route you want to take. If you are flying, of course, you need to get the right airport for you to be able to catch a flight. If you are walking, of course, you really need to know the shortcuts to Mombasa. If you are taking the train, you need to know where the train is, so that you know the timings of that train and you board it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's important to evaluate, take care of your milestones. A journey to Mombasa will start from Mlolongo to Salama, from Salama to Emali, from Emali to Mtitwandei. But if you realize you are going to Mombasa and you're feared off the road, you are headed to Loitoktok, then you must realize you have lost track. You are headed the wrong direction. You have lost vision and focus. You need to change and ensure that the feedback you get from the community, the feedback you get from yourself and others will help you focus and remain on track. Number three, never lose sight of your goal. How do you lose sight of your goal? If I may make this clear for all of us, how do you probably lose sight of your goal? USIU guys, come on board, please.
Okay, can I try?
Please try.
Okay, how you can lose sight of your goal
Yes.
is when you start seeing, okay, when you start having divided attentions.
Yes.
For example, I'll just use the example that you have been given, the common example that we know of building a library. When you want to build a library, then all of a sudden he gets another project, or okay, he become driven with the materialistic benefit or financial benefit that comes with it. He sees like, okay, this is not this will not be lucrative, then I should start another thing that will be lucrative. When you start having divided attention and start to be driven away from your goal, then I think you'll now lose sight of your goal and think differently from what you want to achieve.
A perfect example, my friend. I believe this is what we get from USIU. I confirm. Are you from USIU?
No, I'm from Kenyatta University on the Caleb.
That's good. I needed somebody from. We want to get things for the USIU way. But I thank you so much for an excellent and perfect example. When you get distracted by other things, even in organizations, when we do plans and when we decide our programmatic priorities, if we say we want to help the vulnerable, and then we find somebody has money for fishing, and we say we can also do fishing. Before we are done with fishing, we realize there is somebody who wants to do tamaking of roads. We say, hata hiyo pia tunaweza. Have you seen organizations like that? Sometimes you really don't understand what they're known for, because they want to do anything, including what they have no idea what to do. Even individuals, sometimes you can lose sight of your goal by just wanting to experiment on everything. it's important to remain focused on your goal, because if your goal is clear, is realistic, is achievable, you should never lose sight of your goal. Disturbances are always going to be there, but it's part of the key success factors that you have to lose. You have to maintain focus on the goal. Don't this one. It is dangerous for you to procrastinate, because you need to remember the motto that someday leads to the town of nowhere. Someday is today. Have you ever heard of this kind of expression somewhere, that if you always keep on saying someday I'll do it, this town called someday leads to nowhere, because someday should be today. So if you realize there are things you can't do today and you keep on saying someday I'll achieve it, you should realize that you are actually headed nowhere, or you are in the road to nowhere. Finally, you ought to have your key goals in front of you on a regular basis. A good planner, a good strategist ensures that the things you want to achieve are on top of your list. They are not an afterthought, but they are priorities, and they are the main, that's where your energy is, and that's where your investment is. So for today, I really wanted to ensure that we get here before we can go how to create a life plan. So for today, we wanted to get ideas on how to set personal goals, why it is important to set those goals, and most importantly, how to remain focused on those goals. And next week, or on Thursday, probably next week, we'll discover how we can achieve the goals we have set. We'll look at the challenges of keeping on track. We'll look at the distractions that can be there and how to manage them. And we'll also get to know experiences from some of you who have tried to set some goals and how far you have gone and what your experiences were like. So for today, I'm glad this is the much we needed to cover, but now I'm ready to take up the questions from your end and comments. Probably I want a first comment to come from USIU, if we have a gentleman or a lady from there.
There's so much bias for USIU, eh?
We just want to confirm that all of us are in the house.
Ask Tafazwa. There's also Amos Onyancha from USIU. Amos, are you there? Or it's Amos?
It's Amos, yeah, right.
Okay, yes.
Please come to our rescue.
Okay, I don't have a question.
Yes.
Like you've talked much for today. Like we have to set our goals, set them on track. I'm sorry if is my sound okay?
It's perfect from my end.
Okay, thank you. So one thing I've realized is once you set your goal, you will learn on how you're supposed to give back. And at the end of it, when you give back, you build hope. And where there is hope, there is a future. I didn't have a question, but that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Onyanja, for giving us that feedback. Anybody, you can raise your hand. I can see you. Anybody with a comment or a question? Njagi Joan Mukami, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard your talk, and I think also one of the most important things with goal setting is to consistently have a goal, because every time you set a goal, what happens after you achieve it? So you just you need to set another one to keep it in track. Yes. And sometimes when we achieve one goal, actually, it's kind of like we feel so like we've achieved so much that we don't. It's like we've reached the topmost place we can. So we maybe lays out a little bit on setting another one. So even when you're setting the goals, just have like a steady list of things you want to achieve. That way, when you strike one off the list, you can go to the next one. And you always have.
you, Joanne, for speaking like three people, because what you have raised is really extremely important. Consistency in everything that you do is extremely important, because if you are not consistent, even the Bible says that those who are not consistent are going to be thrown on the floor like a salt that is not tasteless and people can step on it. Can somebody remember a verse somewhere, whether in the Quran or the Bible, that says that when the salt loses the taste, what is done to it? It is trampled on and thrown on the floor. So consistency in what you are doing, as Joanna said, is important, because if you do not set challenging goals, then you may think that you have hit the seventh heaven when you have not even started your life journey. So you really need to have a good picture and set realistic and achievable, but most importantly, good goals that can make a difference in your life. So yes, you can be lost in that symbol and a small success and you think that you have hit the world. Like if you get a first class honors and you think that you've hit the world, then you can walk with your shoulder high and say, now these guys, you need to show them what you're made of. And then you get a job and you lose it the following morning because you are unable to manage your pride. Evelyn Akelo, please, let's hear your side of the story.
Hello, just have a comment. In setting goals and after setting goals, there's this part of, you know, while setting a goal, there are other people who have made it with the same line you set your goal. And so connecting to such people can also help you keep track. If somebody, like I said, having an NGO or a CBO, there are NGOs all over there, people with their co-founders of NGOs all over. You can keep connecting, you know what it entails to reach there. This can, and then you get motivated, you get motivation from these people. If these people made it, and then you too, you can keep to that level of your goal.
Thank you so much. I have liked that too, because it has brought another idea. The mathematicians or the scientists in this class will tell you there is something we call interpolation. When you want to interpolate, or there's also something called the confidence interval, where you believe that where the true meaning is likely to be, or where the true value is likely to be. That helps you. Without you having an absolute figure, you have to interpolate, and through a line of fitness, you can actually determine the trend, whether you are growing or you are going down or you are oscillating around the same spot. So your idea is extremely well noted, Akelo, and I love that. I see your hand is still up, but I want to believe it is the same high hand, but yeah. Two more questions before I can.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please. What's your name?
This is David.
Yes.
I'm asking that while in the process of making your goals, is it good to maybe look others for advice?
Yes, but you need to do that cautiously. Two things you have to remember: that it is your goal and not their goal. So be aware of their influence to change your goal, number one. But number two, I said in the next class, we'll be discussing about the role of mentorship in achieving your goals. It's important to be mentored and to source and tap into the right resources, tap into the right technical advice that will take you where you need to go. Remember, the long journey starts by you identifying the right vehicle for your long journey. And of course, the type of the vehicle you choose, it depends on your resources, depends on the time you have, and it depends on the impact you want to create. If you want to do small things, then of course the time will be shorter, the resources will be less. But if you take huge projects like the one of doing a library for the community, of inspiring before you expire, for you to inspire, it has to take a lot of energy, a lot of investment, a lot of technical skills, and a lot of understanding of who you want to empower. So yes, it's good to have mentorship along the way, but make sure that the mentorship does not derail you or make you lose your focus or your dream. Remember, it's your dream. I hope I've answered your question well.
Yes.
Jili Ooko, what is your comment?
I think my opinion also about the goal setting thing. Sometimes we plan, let's say you want in this year, you want to attain, you want to pursue CPA, let's say level 1 and level 2. And
Yes.
then something happens and then you fail, let's say in 2 exams.
Yes.
And you feel like, oh, I can't continue with CPA and CPA is tough.
It's not for
Yeah,
me.
sometimes, yeah, it's not for me. Sometimes when you're setting goals, you also have to remember that sometimes we'll not be able to achieve them, but we don't have to give up.
Thank you so much. If I may ask, Chili, have you tried CPA?
Yes,
Just ask-
I'm doing my level 4.
What was your experience?
Personally, I failed in level 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt discouraged a lot because it was so hard.
Yes.
But I talked to my mentors and they say that I don't have to give up. I can still redo the exams. And yeah, right now I'm going to do my exams and I think I am still
Yes,
pursuing it. Yeah.
Good. You have also brought a very important aspect of persistence, persistently focusing on your goals. Regardless of what happens, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, but it matters a lot how many times you wake up. Failing is actually part of success. In research, we say the number of iterations that you have to undertake before you can prove that something is working does not matter. But if you can be able to go through those number of tests until you can say it is now, there is a good efficacy level, it is worth the time, it's worth the waiting and the repeating. So if you are focused, it does not matter what comes along your way, because what is the difference is the time of arrival, but the destination is the same. I am sure, and with that kind of spirit, you are likely to be one of the members of Institute of Certified Public Accountants, not very long from now, because of that spirit. Thank you. Wanjangunyi. Wanja.
Hello, thank you. Thank you first of all so much for the session. I think I've learned quite a bit. And I would have a question. Is there something as too many goals in a specific session of life? Well, as you said, like we have very many things that we might be undertaking within a particular time, maybe considering career, education, family. And even when we prioritize these things, sometimes it feels as if there's too much. So what would be your take on, should we, is it possible to have too many goals? And is there, for example, in your own view, might there be a limited number of goals that we're able to adequately focus on without spreading ourselves too thin? So yeah, that's my question.
An excellent question, Wanja, and I'll address it in 2 ways. First, I'll address it from a personal level and also address it from an organizational level. Now, from a personal level, the first question, is it possible that you will have too many goals? Yes. Sometimes you can be lost in so many goals that you have, and you may end up spreading too thin. You want to chase let me use an example. If you're looking for a spouse and you have so many prospective clients or so many prospective candidates, it takes a lot of energy from you. Sometimes it does not allow you to get adequate time to assess, evaluate, and of course, monitor what you need to monitor to confirm that this is really what you want. That is the danger of having too many goals. So as a person, yes, I confirm it's possible you can have too many goals, and it can be dangerous to have too many goals. If you have too many goals, you must realize there's a problem about your focus. If you realize you have too many goals in life and you are not able to narrow down to a good number, then there's a problem about your focus. It's high time you reevaluated about your priorities. And this is where I normally use the pairwise ranking. This is how we use the pairwise ranking. If you are doing programming, let me use a programming aspect. If you are doing programming and you are delivering programs, you have let's use the levels of esteem. You say You need to provide water. You need to go to school, but you need medicine. Other than medicine, you need food. So how we use the pairwise ranking, you label on the horizontal axis and on the vertical axis, you put the same items like water and water. When you are having a case of water and water, what comes? Of course, water will take priority. When you are having water and school, what takes precedence? Obviously, water will take precedence. When you are having water and the medicine, what takes precedence? Maybe it's contestable, maybe it's water and medicine, but if you are talking of water and food, what comes first? These are decisions you have to decide so that from a pairwise ranking, you are able to determine a good ranking matrix that can help you know where your priorities are. For example, for me, before I can go to school, I need food. And by having food, maybe I also need water and of course, medicine. I will not be interested in school if I have a challenge with food, medical, and water. So in other words, what I'm trying to tell you is that you really need to find a striking balance to enable you prioritize. For me, 1 to 6 priorities at a time is high enough. If you find yourself having between 6 and 20 priorities, there is a problem because you will not be consistent, you will not be able to focus, you can't afford to invest in all of them, you will spread too thin and you will not succeed. So in terms of that, from a personal perspective, that's my answer. From an organizational perspective, when do strategic management, we always say that organizations should have no more than 6 objectives or 6 key result areas. If you are going to have 10 key result areas, you are going to have a mountain or a matrix of indicators, and it's difficult to track all those indicators. That's why we always advise that you take reasonable, manageable objectives, and then by having reasonable, manageable objectives, you can be able to track the indicators and your impact can be felt. You can have 1,000 shillings and you give it to one person and you can impact them. You can also decide to have the 1,000 and you give a bob to 1,000 people. Where will your impact be felt? Is it by reaching 1,000 or having one person, but at least have a decent meal for a week? Those are personal choices, but it reflects your impact that you create by the decisions you make. I hope my many words in English can help you focus.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Good. It is now approaching 8 o'clock, and I know we've taken long, but I think it was an extremely important lesson for us to learn, and the next one will be more exciting.
Yeah, Mr. Makori, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the chat section.
I thought Jane was doing that for me. Is there a chat that I need to respond to? Let me go to it.
Okay, let me just do it for you. So, there is a comment from Martha from MMU. She says that she thinks goal setting got to be the most important decision in life. You got your life goals on a blueprint, but then I bet self-discipline, consistency, and staying focused throughout makes goals achievable. And we have a question from Rantich. Yeah, Rantich he has asked like twice that he has a question. I don't know if it's a he or she, I'm sorry. Yes.
I think the first question is yes. Sorry? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I guess they have poor internet connection. I don't know. Is it okay if you just put it on the chat
Yes,
section? We can't hear you. Could you just type
okay.
it? Yeah, just type it for you. Yeah, then in the meantime, as he types the question.
Any other that I can do? I'm running through them.
So there's one more here from Justin.
Hello, I know we started class a bit late, but can please try and keep time because I need to. Yeah, okay. Mr. Makori, I've noticed that we were at 120, let me say, and right now we are half the number. Sadly, so yeah, next time
And
we'll
we
have.
are at the end of it. I think I appreciate you all for remaining focused for the entire session and an extra 30 minutes. I hope that is a signal to me that you are attaching value to these conversations and that you really want to benefit from them. And that's a sort of an encouragement to me to give more. And even my other colleagues will be coming next time to support us so that at least our investment is not in vain. Our goal is not in vain, but we can actually have our goals met by being the best people that guys want to employ in the job market. Jen, are you in? Jen? Jen? All right. I think from my desk, that is it for today. The notes will be shared as we usually do. But should you have a burning question, please do not hesitate to throw it back to me. I can get time to answer. But most importantly, keep coming and let's get the next session coming. Thank you so much for your time. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Be blessed.
See you.
Okay.
Hello, my network is not working. I don't know if you are hearing me.
Yes, we are getting you, but the class has ended.